What's up, everybody? This is Fishers of Men. The review embargo on Captain Marvel is lifted. Rotten Tomatoes is starting to aggregate the scores, and I want to take a look at them with you guys and kind of talk about them and talk about why I'm not really trusting Rotten Tomatoes anymore. Let's kind of get into it. Obviously, we can see that it's got a certified fresh score of 84%. That means 84% of critics that have reviewed out of 134 have enjoyed the film. But if you look at the top critics, it's at a 63%. You see that difference there? That's a 21% difference. That's a huge difference. You see why I might be having a little bit of a problem kind of believing the critics on this one? Look at this. The average rating for top critics is a 6 out of 10. That's a D. It's a low D. But the average rating from all critics is a 7 out of 10. They get a C. Do you see why that's weird? Do you see why that's strange? And obviously, we don't have any audience ratings because it's not out, and they've recently changed it and removed the want to see metric, which also kind of strange, kind of weird. They said that it wasn't to protect Captain Marvel, but it sure was suspicious with the timing, don't you think? Okay, and just in case you don't know, because I didn't know before all this stuff started coming out about Rotten Tomatoes and them changing their audience metrics and things like that, I had no idea how these reviews were aggregated. I had no idea. I thought it was just a percentage. You know, they took all of the stars that all the critics gave it and averaged them out. Everybody gave it an 8.4 stars out of 10, so we're giving it an 84%. And that's not how it is, obviously, with the average rating being a 7 out of 10. So let's go over how they do that real quick, okay? The tomato meter score, based on the opinions of hundreds of film and television critics, is a trusted measurement of critical recommendation for millions of fans. It represents the percentage of professional critic reviews that are positive for a given film or television show. A tomato meter score is calculated for a movie or TV show after it receives at least 5 reviews. When at least 60% of reviews for a movie or TV show are positive, a red tomato is displayed to indicate its fresh status. When less than 60% of reviews for a TV show or movie are positive, a green splat is displayed to indicate its rotten status. So it's based on the percentage of positive reviews. So if it's greater than 60% positive reviews, it gets a nice red tomato. And if it's over 75% or higher, it gets certified fresh, a steady tomato meter score. Now who knows what that means, because Captain Marvel's reviews just came out today and it's already considered certified fresh. So who knows what that means? Steady tomato meter score. But okay. How do they decide whether a TV show or movie is positive or negative? Do they look at the number of stars that a critic gave it and say, oh, they gave it less than half of the stars, so obviously they didn't like it? No, that's not what they do. That's not what they do. Here, they even have a little tab about it right here. Rotten Tomatoes has assembled a team of curators whose job it is to read thousands of movie and TV reviews weekly. The team collects movie and TV reviews from Tomato Meter approved critics and publications every day, generating Tomato Meter scores. Our curators carefully read these reviews, noting if the reviews are fresh or rotten, and choose a representative pull quote. Tomato Meter approved critics can also self-submit their reviews. So essentially, it's all up to interpretation. It's up to these curators to decide whether or not the reviews are fresh or rotten, based on whatever the critics say, and to pull a pull quote to put in the website. So the people that are writing these reviews aren't putting in those pull quotes. And sometimes they're not even actual quotes, they're just like little pieces taken out of the article and mishmashed together to make it sound like something it isn't. Because I started reading some of these reviews after I looked at some of these reviews to see what they were actually saying. And some of them are kind of wonky. Some of them don't quite line up. But okay, whatever. So it's all subjective. They don't have an objective way of looking at it. Okay, I guess. Let's look at some of these. 2 out of 4. Right, that's a 50%. Good thing it's still March. Captain Marvel would have made a weak start to the summer blockbuster season. Okay, that would make sense to me. But let's scroll down a little bit. This person also gave it a 2 out of 4. Called it shaky and unfocused. And it said it still managed to reach its destination with confidence, and they stick the landing, but with something more muted than absolute triumph. Gave it a 2 out of 4, and it was still considered a positive rating. Original score 2 out of 4. Look at that. Do you see why that's weird? You see why that's strange? That's worse than a C minus. That's worse than a C minus, and they gave it a positive rating. Now maybe she's put herself into a box. Maybe the Washington Post gives it ratings out of 4, and so maybe it's not quite worth a 3. But this person gave it almost a 3, and it got a negative score. So it doesn't make sense to me. This person gave it a 2.5 out of 4, and we get a positive. Burns brightly if briefly. It's predictable. It's predictable. It's pleasing, but it's predictable. But it's a good movie. Do you see why that's strange? That's so weird. It's like these critics are afraid to say the movie wasn't that great. I'm going to give it a negative review because it wasn't that great. It was okay. Right? Like they can't even do that. It's so weird. And it doesn't make sense. And that's why like I'm having a really hard time trusting these Rotten Tomatoes scores. Now, it's been this way with me for a while. The critics don't seem to like all the movies that I like and really like a lot of the movies that I did not like. But an 84%, 63% for top critics. Now, this is dangerously close to that rotten number. If all critics have it at less than 60%, it turns into rotten. And top critics are almost there. They're like, yeah, this wasn't very good. Look at this. Look at this. This rating is strange to me. We're still at the point where the visuals of such a powerful female hero are rare enough that its sheer existence makes you giddy. Right? This pull quote has nothing about the movie. It's just there's a powerful female character, and so it made her giddy. She gave it a 4 out of 5 and it got a positive review on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you guys see what I'm talking about here? Do you guys see why this is strange to me? Why this doesn't make sense? It's so inconsistent, and there's so much where people are lukewarm on their reviews, and it's got a positive Rotten Tomato, and it's driving up the Rotten Tomatoes score like nothing's happening. Even the people that want to like this movie are having a hard time having enough bubbly, flowery words about it to keep it in the positive status. I almost wonder if people are afraid to review it critically because it's this female-led superhero movie, Marvel's first female-led superhero movie. And so they put in some bad stuff, it was average, it was okay. But then they add some flowery words, like, oh, she's powerful. She's strong. She's confident. All right. We had some flowery words in there. We're good. And the curator at Rotten Tomato reads those and goes, oh yeah, that's obviously a positive review. She's strong, powerful, and confident. Yeah, the movie was average, but she was strong, powerful, and confident. We're going to give it a positive. It's weird. It doesn't make sense. It makes me really, really iffy on Rotten Tomatoes. And I think I'm going to do some more videos about this because I've been looking into some other stuff, and I really want to dive deep into some of Rotten Tomatoes ratings and the way that they curate these and the way that they decide what's positive and negative. Like, it would make more sense if they took the average score that everybody gave it, 7 out of 10, 3 out of 5, which would be 6 out of 10, 3 out of 5, which is 6 out of 10. If they took the average rating of everybody and said, all right, everybody gave it a 7 out of 10, 70% on the Rotten Tomatoes score, certify it fresh. That would make more sense than saying we think that 84% of our critics that we have approved like this movie, and so we certify it fresh. Look, I'm usually a pretty trusting guy, but that seems kind of weird. So let's look at one more. Let's look at Roger Moore's Movie Nation quote. Liberating, cute, forgettable. 2.5 out of 4. It's positive. It's a forgettable movie. It's cute. Liberating, I guess, is a good word, but it was cute, but it was forgettable. Do you see why I have a hard time taking that pull quote and going, yeah, that's obviously a positive review. That whole thing is positive. It's a forgettable movie. How are you rating that positive? How is forgettable a positive attribute? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And Rotten Tomatoes has lost a lot of credibility with a lot of fans recently. And if they keep going this way, they're going to lose even more. But people look at these ratings and they use them as a stepping off point to whether or not they'll go see it. Look, Alita Battle Angels is a 60% from critics. And that's almost splat status, right? That's almost rotten. But Alita Battle Angel was a really fun movie. Look, obviously, with the average rating being a 6 out of 10 from top critics and 63% of them liking it, while 84% and 7 out of 10 with a 7 out of 10 average from all critics, obviously there's something weird going on there. Obviously, there's a disconnect somewhere. And if you're uninformed as to how Rotten Tomatoes works and where that 84% comes from, this is very confusing. And nothing's going to change if people don't talk about it. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to talk about it a little bit, trying to draw a little bit of attention to it because it is just weird. It seems like it's propping up this movie that's probably not going to be that good. that a lot of people don't want to go see because of things that the actresses said, because of things that people around the movie have said. It doesn't look like that good of a movie. But it seems like the tomato meter is trying to prop it up and say that it is. And that is suspicious. That is strange. It's weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Anyways, that's all I've got. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments. Do you think that's weird? Do you think it's weird the way that they calculate their tomato meter score? Do you think they should just go to a straight average rating score? Did you know that they calculated it with that's the percentage of critics who liked the movie? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you're going to go see Captain Marvel and why. Let me know if you're not going to go see it and why. Let me know if you think that the way that they rate positive or negative reviews is strange. How they have to pull a quote and read it, and it's all up to whoever reads it. Let me know what you think. If you like the video, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe if you want to. If not, check out one of my other videos. Maybe you'll like that a little more. Who knows? Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Out of all the channels on YouTube, you watched my video, and I appreciate that. Again, I am Fishers of Men, and I will talk to you later.